says this is vital to the stabilization of efforts in the post-the Islamic State Iraq. This is in keeping with other comments out of the Pentagon, where officials more or less uniformly envision a permanent U.S. military presence in Iraq and have not been shy in saying so. President Trump, however, disagrees and has said he's been keen to withdraw troops once the Islamic State is defeated. It's not unusual for President Trump not to see eye to eye with the military brass on long-term troop deployments. Iraq seems to be unusual in that instead of openly disagreeing with the president, the Pentagon's comments appear to totally discount his opinion and present their own plans as a foregone conclusion. Colonel Ryan said it was possible there could be some minor drawdowns of U.S. troops from Iraq in the future, and that even this would depend heavily on the rest of NATO committing substantial numbers of troops to Iraq for training operations. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need SpendaBit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. SpendaBit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. spendabit.co. UPI reports an Indian man faces prison and deportation after a federal jury convicted him of sexually assaulting a woman on board a Spirit Airlines flight, according to U.S. attorneys. Prabhu Ramamurthy penetrated a woman with his fingers as she slept in the seat next to him on board a flight from Las Vegas to Detroit on January 3rd. The assault woke her up, and she found her pants unbuttoned and unzipped. Ramamurthy's wife was sitting next to him as the assault took place. U.S. Attorney Matthew Snyder said in a statement, "Everyone has the right to be safe and secure when they travel on airplanes. We will not tolerate the behavior of anyone who takes advantage of victims who are in a vulnerable position, and we're glad the jury agreed." During the investigation, Ramamurthy admitted to police that he attempted to penetrate the woman with his fingers. He is in the United States on a work visa and is scheduled to be sentenced on December 12th, and prosecutors said he will be deported after serving his prison term. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a massive and deadly California wildfire that sent choking smoke into Yosemite National Park, causing a temporary closure of large parts of the tourist destination, is completely contained, according to fire officials. More than 3,000 personnel have battled the Ferguson fire, which ignited on July 13th and has burned through nearly 97,000 acres of steep slopes and bone-dry terrain southwest of the park, according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. 2 firefighters were killed while tackling the blaze and 19 others injured, according to CAL FIRE. Cooler weather and calmer winds in recent days have helped firefighters in California and other western states get a handle on major blazes, according to authorities. CAL FIRE spokeswoman Lynette Round said the weather is helping the fires to lay down and the firefighters are able to get better containment lines around them. The heart of Yosemite National Park, shut for nearly 3 weeks due to the Ferguson fire, was reopened to the public on Tuesday, but smoke lingered in the air and a few major roads into the park remained closed over the weekend. There were still sporadic fires within the containment lines, according to Yosemite Park officials, adding that visitors should exercise caution. The park's closure has taken a major toll on the local economy. Some 4.3 million visitors spent an estimated $452 million last year, most of that during the summer. While there has been progress in battling blazes nationwide, officials worry that lightning strikes in states such as Washington, Oregon, and Idaho could spark more wildfires. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Readers rejoice! This week, Amazon unveiled the Kindle Flair, the latest model of their popular e-reader. The improved device has the ability to loudly and repeatedly announce the title of the book you're reading so everyone knows how smart you are.
Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut.
The hot new e-reader includes a massive catalog of titles, a sleek, easy-to-use interface, and a loud, clear voice that barks the name and author of your book on a loop. Amazon says the repetitive shouting is a small feature that makes a big difference. Readers say that with crystal clear 150 decibel stereo speakers, the Flare provides the most conspicuous reading experience yet. When you're not reading, the Flare automatically switches into bookshelf mode, which conserves power and reads off a list of everything on your Kindle.
Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, a confederacy of dunces.
And Amazon's competition has also stepped up their game as Apple released a new iPad that whispers, "I have an iPad," over and over again.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is a Monday afternoon on your drive home, and we are coming to you through the airwaves from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is a hot SOB outside today. Goodness gracious. But not as bad as it has been.
It's not raining, though.
Oh, so. Well, it looks like it's going to, though.
Naturally.
Give it time. It'll change.
Right.
Well, I straightened my hair, so yes, it's going to rain.
Right. So we've got on the, we've got live in studio with us right now. We've got Aria DiMezzo from, I was told your cryptocurrencycheck.org is currently not working.
Oh, yeah. It hasn't been working in a long time.
Oh, oops.
It's all right. I mentioned it during the show prep once. Well, you know, I deleted anarchistgmail.com.
Okay.
And when I contacted DreamHost about it, they deleted both sites. And it was only like a month and a half old. It was only like a month and a half old at that point, and I hadn't done a ton of work into it. Well, it was really a ton of work, but not, you know, relative to what I was going to do. So I didn't have any backups or anything like that. And by the time I was aware that, you know, they goofed, it was...
Too late.
Yeah, they had already deleted their own backups.
Right.
So
did you get an opportunity to talk to Tom about...
I didn't. There was something weird going on with the headset I was using while we were not broadcasting, and
Well,
I kept asking if he could hear me, and I don't think he ever heard me.
No, I jumped on the air during the disclaimer. So
okay.
Oh, okay. So it didn't matter.
So we've got is there something...
Well, yeah, we've actually been in a conversation, and there was a point that I made to Aria, and then Aria made it in the discussion a little better than I made it to her. And I think it really bears discussion because, you know, we live in a society where basically the left is clamoring for the government to do certain things. And
well, so is the right.
True. And we're arguing with them. Look, this is not the right way to do it. If you do it this way, then it's going to cause these things. If you do it this other way, though, then it's, you know, more peaceful, it's more moral, and people will do this. If we don't do the more peaceful, more moral thing, then the market will punish those people. And those people will have to do the right thing, because if they don't, the market will speak.
Well, it's like we've talked about before, where many libertarians aren't really motivated by any libertarian concern or any moral concern. What they're motivated by is that license that libertarianism allows for them to seek profit above all else. So, I mean, what would attract the business owners, is that, these people don't care if I pay my employees 20 cents an hour. And you do have many libertarians who will just go, well, I don't care. It's not me. They can get a better job.
Yeah, that's not me. You can just get a better job.
Which, I've decided is the libertarian version of they can just move to Somalia.
Right?
Pretty much.
It really is. It really is.
It's how you say that in libertarianism.
Now we're going to say something here, and it's actually going to get us in. I'm saying it's going to get us in trouble because every time I've ever heard anyone say this in my community, it's created an uproar. Like there was an imam who said this like 2 years ago, and they wrote like 15 articles about him because of saying, "Look, we are above the law morally. Our morals are greater than what the state puts out there."
Without a doubt.
So we should be living up and expecting and practicing those morals, not just talking about them as high ideals, but actually doing these things. So if you see a business that is doing business in a way you disapprove of, then you take your money and you spend it somewhere else. The example was minimum wage. Okay, so the state says that you have to pay $7.25 an hour. Okay, well, if you look downtown,
I mean, the cost of living here is
ridiculously high.
Yes, I mean, nationally, it's much higher than the average, and a $7.25 minimum wage. Whether or not that constitutes what we'd call a minimum wage and a minimum existence isn't really the point. But the $7.25 an hour is not going to. It's going to be below average for the area at the very least, and that's going to be true of a lot of places throughout the U.S. But it's going to be exacerbated here.
Yeah,
because of the.
But what we're seeing, I don't know. Like McDonald's here doesn't pay minimum wage. They're like $8-9 an hour. They pay incredible over minimum wage, and you have businesses all over downtown that also do, like there's places, you walk in, you order a sandwich, and the girl brings it to your table after, you get your own drinks. It's a sandwich shop. It's a sub shop. Every single marketplace has them. And they show minimum wage isn't necessary because they're paying their employees $8 an hour, $9 an hour, and they're statists. They're lefties. I mean, one of the places that we like to go there because they have really good root beer on tap, and they make these awesome sandwiches. It's like really rare roast beef with horseradish sauce and French fries on the sandwich on rye bread. It's really good. And they make a salad that has French fries in the salad. And it's really
How
good.
in the world are you so skinny when I'm so fat? I just got back from the gym and I had chicken for dinner, and you're over here with French fries on rye bread.
Oh, I could eat a Luther every day and never gain a pound.
Oh God, it's so
shut
yummy.
up, Arya.
So
just shut up.
Now you've got all these places, and they prove without a shadow of a doubt that a minimum wage is unnecessary. It's completely not necessary. But
I mean, the businesses know how much they can afford to pay their employees, and this is why Seattle failed when it did increase its minimum wage to $8 or $9 per hour. Their business owners could not afford that because I guess Seattle just doesn't have as much money slushing through it as does a place like here in Keene, New Hampshire. So I mean, the owners here they can afford that clearly because they are doing it and they're not going out of business.
Yeah, clearly.
But I mean, what we're essentially saying is that businesses can afford to pay employees $8 or $9 per hour, and that's a decision that each business can make for themselves about whether or not they can afford it.
Okay, now here's the question though: is if you know that the average cost of labor for a job is one thing, and then you find there's one business that's 25% below that. So $8 to $9 versus
it'd be more like 40%.
40%, yeah. So you find out there's one business in town that they pay their laborers 40% less than that. do you still shop there? Or do you say, look, man, the statists say that you should pay this much?
Yeah, and the amount they're paying is below that.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the concern here.
And the statists are paying more than that. So the people that are advocating the minimum wage, that are business owners, are like that love government, are paying more than what the government requires. Whereas
a not as government friendly.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been talking about basically whether or not libertarians should hold ourselves and each other to a higher standard than what the state and the statists want the state to hold us to. Because we have many times we have the ability. We simply choose not to.
I mean, if we want to sway people ideologically, we absolutely have to envision higher standards and actually apply them universally.
Well, yeah, you can't say that you don't need the state for these standards to exist if you're not willing to hold yourself to them to start with.
Yeah, I mean, take roads, for example. You're like, okay, well, libertarianism can provide roads. I mean, you just scatter some rocks out there, and it's fine. You got a road. That's not going to...
cut it.
No, you got to be like, look, man, the streets will be paved in gold. Not
even gold, but I mean, they'll be paved.
Yeah.
I mean, in some cities, you just be like, there won't be a giant hole every 60 feet, and people would be like,
or every 6 feet.
I want that. I want to do whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have to offer people incentive to look into libertarianism. And if we're going, I don't care.
Look
if
how
you get
big the
paid
Domino's
$2 an hour.
Look how big the Domino's story got.
Yeah.
That was everywhere. My statist
it was like
friends.
3 potholes.
For real. My statist friends were sharing it.
Yeah.
They were like, well, hey, Will, I guess you were right. They will build the roads. I'm like, well, not build them, but at least fill a couple potholes.
I mean, yeah, that's it, though. They are built now.
Yeah.
For better or worse. So, I mean, build houses and properties around the roads that are already existing and keep them repaired.
The first interstates. I was actually watching a documentary on Detroit. The first interstates were built by the car companies.
I'm not surprised.
The car companies wanted you to drive a car, so they built roads so that you would drive a car. All the different companies that were involved got together.
I mean, it's like Comcast, running cables. I mean, it's exactly like that. Comcast running cables throughout the United States, Google running fiber throughout the United States. They want you to use their service, and that requires a certain level of infrastructure. So
you guys are completely crazy. There's no way to do something like that without taking people's land against their will and giving them minimal value for it.
Well, that's true.
Minimal value. There were some people that got nothing.
Google certainly did that, and I know Comcast has.
Minimum.
Right. Very true.
I guess you could take their land and then say, and in exchange for your land, we're taking more of your stuff, and that would be less than nothing. But
so that's kind of what happened. Native American treatment.
Basically, what happened, right, was the American government came into Cherokee land and kicked all the Cherokees off the Cherokee land, and they brought settlers in, and the settlers all settled the land and built farms there. And then 60 years later, the government came back and kicked the settlers off half of the land.
You're thinking about Israel and Palestine.
Right. And kicked them off of about a quarter of the land, and that was Roosevelt, and created the national park system. And then about 60 years...
And what did they call the national forest?
Yeah, and then they came back...
Cherokee National Forest.
Yeah.
Which has no
Cherokee in it anymore, because they killed them all off or carted them to another state.
Oh yeah, I've been through that part of like New Mexico and Oklahoma, and it's tragic. I mean, we gave these people rocks.
Yeah,
basically, arid regions and rocks.
And then they came back in the 1930s and 40s and kicked another 2/3 of them off of the land and gave them a choice. They were like, first they showed up and they were willing to give like a reasonable amount for the land, and most of the people were like, no. And then they came back and offered them, pittance for the land. And some of the people fought. And the last old man, they sent the marshals to remove him by force. And he didn't make them fight, but he made them send armed men.
There's that dude in Tennessee who did.
Yeah.
Who fought.
He didn't actually fight with guns, though.
Oh, he didn't?
No. He just made them come. That's what I'm talking about. They made him come and get them. Yes. And then again, we're not done yet.
No, of course not.
Then again, in the 1970s, they came back and took another 300,000 acres of farmland and didn't do nothing with it for a while. Then they wanted to turn it into a toxic waste dump to dump all of Oak Ridge's toxic waste. We're talking pristine farmland. The land that the Cherokee alphabet, the Sequoia, the land that their village was on. all underwater now, because when they finally figured out that it maybe wouldn't be a good idea to dump all the toxic waste from Oak Ridge National Laboratories there, some guy was like, well, why don't we flood it and build a dam literally 1,000 yards from this other dam that's already there and already big and already makes more than enough electricity for the region. Once we flood it, we'll sell the land to developers, and then those developers can sell it for $250,000 per lot. For like a half acre.
Well, I mean, all of the land in the United States is currently owned, either by people or by the state. And that's where a lot of these libertarian socialists, as you were talking about earlier, get their ideas about, property, is that they, for some reason, they factor into their ideology the fact that, 60, 70, I don't remember the percentage of land in the United States is owned by a government. And in an anarchist society, all of that land would be available for anyone who wanted to take it, to just go out there and put a house on it. Yeah.
Homestead it.
So this whole idea that rent is theft, it's like, no, because you can take your ass out there, chop down some trees and build a house, dude. It's the government that's keeping you from doing that. And I would wholly and completely support their endeavor, and I'm sure most people would, with GoFundMe campaigns and all kinds of crap like that. But there's just that blanket solution that, well, if the government doesn't provide people houses, who will?
It's got to be government.
And then you have libertarians going, well, I don't care if they have a house or not. They can live under the bridge for all I care. It's not my problem.
Well, that's part of the reason why I have always really focused my work on results-based activism. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about, like, let's talk about our philosophy. Like, that's the thing that most moderates, that the accusation they have for radical libertarians like myself is that, oh, well, libertarianism isn't a social club. This isn't a debate and discussion group. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys want to get elected to office, but you're not going to get elected to office until you provide real-world solutions that show your ideas in office will work. So you guys can keep running and wasting your money.
But that whole idea is contradictory. I mean, if their ideas work without them running for the government, then put them into motion outside of the government apparatus and don't run for office at all.
Create these real-world solutions yourself. Huh. What a brain buster of an idea. Pakistan has two penniless philanthropists, men that started with literally no shoes, couldn't read, that are now globally known philanthropists, and they did it in a country that's been a war zone since the 1940s. What the hell is your excuse out there in the listening audience? What are you doing for liberty other than talking?
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's another beautiful day here in the Shire, of course. Joined in the studio by Aria DiMezzo, and live via remote, I've got Tom Gray. So, Tom, you've been kind of quiet so far. What do you? What's your input on this discussion of holding ourselves and our communities to a higher standard?
I wish it was more of an option for my community, the Christian community.
Oh yeah.
We're so. Because you have a much harder time holding your community to any sort of standard when your community is at the top of the power structure in most ways, shapes, or forms. Because it's pretty hard to convince people that you're doing anything wrong when you're winning. You know, when demographically, monetarily, economically, politically.
You know, atheists have the same sort of issue, come to think of it, in regard to how they have to behave and what they have to promote as far as real-world situations go. Because, I mean, the most common criticism leveled at atheists is, well, where do you get your morality from? You must be immoral and things like that. And, the bare minimum of morality is not going to win people over.
No.
And if you are an atheist and you go out there doing things that are technically allowed by statism, you're not going to win people over that, you don't need a God to have morality. And in that same sense, libertarians are arguing that we don't need a state to have morality. But, much of the real-world evidence suggests that we do, because people aren't willing to hold themselves to higher standards.
Well, even the founders themselves said that the Constitution, like statism even, it requires a moral people to function. Like minimal statism. The Constitution, minimal statism is like...
Well, human society as a whole requires moral people to function.
Very true.
The problem is that we don't have moral people.
No, not even in the slightest anymore. Now, I found... This was the controversial statement that I was talking about. It's about a minute long. I want to play this so you guys can kind of get the idea of kind of what I'm saying as far as where I'm coming from is that like you said, the bare minimum? Really? That's what you're aiming for?
We've had people come to me saying, why are you all advocating for Sharia? We're not advocating for Sharia. We're not trying to make Sharia the law of the land. What we're advocating for is the freedom to practice our faith like anyone else does. And if you understand Sharia, the foundation of our faith, how we treat our neighbor, how we treat our parents, how we participate in the society, how we live, how we die, how we get married, all of that is part of Sharia. Following the law of the land is part of Sharia. And we follow the laws of the land. In fact, Muslims, if we're practicing Muslims, we're above the law of the land. There's nothing that the laws doesn't affect us at all. In fact, Judge Ramde, who came here, who was the former Chief Justice of Pakistan, we had a meeting with him. He said, well, what is it that you want to do that you can't do? I said, it's not us. It's other people conflating that to the general populace of Muslims.
So again, it's the same thing. The morality should be above what's expected by the law.
Especially if what we're advocating is the abolition of the law.
Exactly. If we're saying that society will function better without it, and we won't hold ourselves to a standard that would facilitate a better function, then what?
It reminds me a lot.
How the hell is anybody supposed to take us seriously?
Yeah, and it reminds me a lot of the libertarians who, when a company does something that people are outraged about, they go, "Well, it's free market; they can do what they want." And it's like, dude, that's not the point. Protesting this and complaining about this and getting their attention and asking them to change this are free market things.
Yes, that's the point. That is the market.
You can't go, they can do what they want. It's the free market. No one is advocating a state solution.
Yeah, just because someone wants to protest against bad policies from a business doesn't mean they're asking the government to fix it. They're saying, hey, business,
but
you
see, they're
suck.
just corporate
Stop
bootlickers,
sucking.
and they're too stupid to know it.
Stop sucking, or we won't give you our money. You should be able to do that without someone looking at you like, socialist. What do you mean? I don't want the government to fix the problem. I want the company to fix the problem, and I am incentivizing that they do it by either A, making a big stink, which makes them look bad, and public relations is bad, and stock options go down, and you lose money. Or B, I don't spend my money there anymore, which means you lose money. You notice the motivating factor here? Money.
Yeah. But making a personal choice to not do business with someone is not in any way, shape, or form statism. It's 100% a market. Not only is it not statism, it is your moral responsibility. If you've come across a company whose actions you do not approve of, it is your responsibility to not do business with them.
I'm going to say no.
Because otherwise you're immoral by your own standards.
If you're a libertarian, if you're an activist, a public face particularly, if you're a person who is advocating these other changes, then yes. But if you're just a regular Joe on the street, then, you're not really being a hypocrite because you're not really advocating anything. But if you're saying...
Well, they're a hypocrite internally, whether they're advocating or not. If you say, okay, this company is doing things that I think are morally wrong, and then you do business with them
anyway,
yeah, you're violating the tenets of your own morality.
True.
And that's definitely hypocrisy. Even if you don't go talking about it on Facebook or whatever, saying, companies shouldn't be allowed to do this, but I support them financially, whether they're doing that or not, they still have their own internal morality about it.
I don't like the fact that the CEO of Starbucks uses some of the profits that he makes from his being the CEO of Starbucks. I don't like the fact that he invests that money into Israeli settlement building. So much so that he's won awards from the Israeli government for funding the Israeli occupation, the military there. He's like, gives them money. Okay, I know that he does that. And somebody's like, well, you shouldn't boycott Starbucks.
Don't
because
tell the
of
white girls drinking the pumpkin lattes in a few months.
Well, that's just it, though. Is like some people said so, and it got out a couple years ago. And the argument was formulated that you shouldn't boycott Starbucks because of the fact that the CEO spends the money that he makes from being the CEO of Starbucks.
Are these not the very same people who boycotted Chick-fil-A?
Yes!
Because its owner donated to, pro-straight organizations?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so hypocrisy there as well. Hypocrisy about whether or not they can be hypocrites. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Or imperfect.
You're a hypocrite when you do it. I'm not a hypocrite when I do it.
Isn't that what all political discussion in this country on the left and the right is really kind of devolved to? Is it like it's the social, what is it? The situational leninism. It's wrong when you do it, but if my team does it, if the blue jerseys commit a face mask and they throw a flag, it's like, what the hell, ref? That's my team. You don't throw flags when they do it. Throw flags when the red jerseys do it. Yep. All of everything. Every issue is now like that. It's not just like left versus right. It's on every issue. Gay marriage, this poor bastard with the cake company that the state couldn't force you to bake a gay wedding cake. What about a transgendered coming out cake? We'll be back.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Rick? Hey, Morty. Rick? Are you far away or are you inside something? Is the camera? Is everything a camera?
All right, welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're almost to the end of our first hour on your drive home. A lot of you probably just now walking out the door, headed to your cars, throwing some keys in there, getting ready to head back to your homes so that you can listen to us from your computers as you tinker away on Discord and look for ways to move your crypto around. So I was able to get in touch with Abdul Hakim Murad.
I'm sorry, that name means nothing to me.
The head of the Islamic Studies Department at Cambridge University.
Oh, the guy that you've been trying to get in touch with for like years.
No, that's Hamza Yusuf. Well, okay. I have been trying to get in touch with him for years too, but like Hamza Yusuf was the first one, and we still haven't got any luck with that one. But this is Timothy Winter. He's the one who did the one when we remember the one we did on feminism and Star Wars, and the masculine Star Wars and modern masculinity.
Yeah, the hero's journey. And all of that.
Yeah. That's Abdul Hakim Murad.
Okay. Well, don't forget we have on Raphael Winkler Thursday.
Yeah, woohoo! And then we've got Ray Comfort coming up
the following Tuesday.
Yeah. You guys know who Ray Comfort is, right?
They're about to. It's going to be colorful.
I know we got the banana clip, right?
Well, you could play the trailer of his video, but I don't think he said it in there.
Ray Comfort banana. It's the first thing that pops up.
But I mean,
here it is.
To his credit, he has totally owned it. You know?
Here we go. Shut up, Carlos. Shut up, Carlos.
That's still appropriate, though.
I've learned that when you really look at the evidence, the truth is it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to believe in God. You've really liposuction.
Hold on.
Hold this, Kirk. Behold the atheist's nightmare. Now, if you study a well-made banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 ridges. On the close side, 2 ridges. If you get your hand ready to grip a banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 grooves, on the close side 2 grooves. The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface. It has outward indicators and inward contents. Green, too early. Yellow, just right. Black, too late. Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll
Actually,
find... as
black
with the soda
bananas
can
are better.
makers,
They have
place
higher
the tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face. You'll find the wrapper, which is biodegradable, has perforations. Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand. Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. It's chewy, easy to digest.
Hold
It's
on.
even...
Hold on. Because you know what else? You know what else perfectly fits into the other thing? So I guess that's proof that God is okay with anal, right?
All the time, man. You know what? We've been trying really hard to get away from Damn it, Dunker.
But I mean, to his credit,
we made it 3 whole weeks without a penis joke, and what do? We play a video from a pastor.
Look how perfectly in the hand it fits,
and it's got a rounded
and you can wrap
tip.
your mouth around it.
It's got a rounded tip for easier entry. He literally said that.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I'm sorry, but I've never had a banana that I needed to have a rounded tip for easier entry. My mouth is not that small.
Okay, TMI. Don't need to know about your mouth size.
No, I've never seen a banana that was so big that you needed a rounded tip for easier entry.
Yes, we heard you the first time, and the entendres are now tripled and quadrupled.
I can't believe it. This is going to be... And the funny thing is, before we started this, I was going to send this clip to Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad to be like, this is the kind of stuff we talk about. But yeah, we're going to have Ray Comfort on the show to promote his new movie, right?
Yes.
Not a book, a movie.
His new movie.
Yeah. His new movie.
The Fool or
The
something
Angry
like that.
Atheist.
No, The Angry Atheist, I'm not. It seemed to be mostly unrelated.
Oh, okay.
Except it was, some angry atheist and yelling at Ray Comfort, as atheists tend to do.
Oh, so he just sent you a video of it randomly along with what he was going to promote?
Well, judging from the emails I've had with his secretary, they include it as an attachment to every email.
Everything,
Yeah,
okay.
It's just part of their signature, I believe. But, I mean, it was interesting. And, I can understand why he's hostile toward atheists.
Oh, yeah.
Because atheists, they took this silly statement and they made him into a pariah. And that was morally wrong. And they should be ashamed of themselves for that.
It's still funny, though. You
It
have
is.
to admit.
Because
it's
I've
funny.
said stupid crap, too.
Oh, we all have.
But
I remember when I first got into dawah work, 10 years ago, I said stuff that I'm so glad they didn't get it on film. Like stuff that that now I look back at it and I'm like, God, how on earth? Like, I used to be a border hawk when I was doing. I used to do Tea Party radio show.
I used to be a communist.
Oh Lord.
Wow. And before
I
that,
used to
socialist.
be a Republican. I used to be a Republican, guys.
Tom, you were never Republican the way that Republicans are Republican. I remember. I knew you back
Tom
then.
identified as a Republican.
I
Yes.
appreciate that.
I've
Yeah, I
known Tom
identified as a
for what, 7-8 years now?
Yeah, I identified as a Republican, but I never got the necessary surgery.
Yeah.
The lobotomy?
No, you have to have your heart removed.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
You have to have your heart removed, right? First they take out your heart, and then to make sure that you're really grumpy
That's
all
right.
the time.
Liberals have the lobotomy.
The liberals get they also surgically implant. They cut your willy off and stick a stick in it and surgically implant it in your ass. That way you always have that like thing
Well, at least
going
it
on.
has a rounded edge for easier entry.
Why do you never have the rim shot queued up when we really need it?
I know. It's because I need a producer, a real producer who's all they do is like push buttons and throw rim shots.
Like the things with rounded edges for easier entry.
Rim shot and that statement together. Like, we got to stop.
We'll see you during the crypto hour, I guess, Dunker.
Right? Maybe we can make it through crypto hour. Anyway,
True, we're trying to make it to crypto.
Yeah, right.
But
So,
before
yeah.
that, we do have this Thursday, Raphael Winkler. Are you getting the guy you mentioned on the show?
Murad? September.
Awesome.
Yeah. He wants to hear some of the show first. I don't really.
We should not send him to today's.
It's like, send me some videos. I'm like, do I really have to? Right. Can I send you some of my khutbahs instead? Because I know you're really like those.
I think last Monday was probably.
I just have to find like some 5-minute clips that are good of like me and the different imams we've had on the show, and like isolate some of those, old episodes. Really old episodes.
Where did the old video episodes still exist? YouTube.
YouTube. Yep, they're still on YouTube. All the way back to the very first one.
Thousands of terabytes of storage.
Yeah, right. So, wow. I'm trying to, we have 2 minutes left. We need to fill because we've totally went off on a rabbit trail.
Well, Raphael Winkler has written a book called The Philosophy of Finitude, and it's an evaluation of 3 different philosophers, one of whom is Nietzsche. And the book is not out yet. It's coming out in a couple of weeks, and I think it's meant to be a college textbook because the price on it is $114.
Oh yeah, that's a textbook.
But I'm hoping he's like, well, here's a free copy for having me on the show because I'd really love to read it.
Oh really? Oh, you hope that he gives you a free copy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
but it should be interesting to have him on the show.
I mean, maybe it's libertarians that are this dense. It's not that it's atheists, and it's just that most
atheists are dense.
Okay, because most of the atheists I know are libertarians, so maybe I don't know, maybe it's the mixture of the two together. But when it comes to talking philosophy at all, they just like there was a quote today that I was arguing with this cat about. It says the only way for a cup to be useful is for it to be empty. Once a cup is filled with dogmas, bigotries, prejudices, ideas, it's closed.
Okay.
It's no longer useful because it's full. And they're like, well, but if I fill a cup with water, I can drink it, and then it's useful. And I'm like, you're focusing on what's in the cup. We're not talking about
once you fill it with water, it's no longer empty either.
Exactly. But if you want to pour...
This week, the Forest Service rolled out a brand new Smokey the Bear campaign in which the popular mascot burns to death. They say they hope the shocking turn will get people serious about preventing forest fires for once. The new campaign depicts Smokey the Bear noticing a family leave a flame unattended. Before he can put it out, the entire forest is consumed and Smokey dies in agony while trying to fight the blaze. Despite educating the public for over 70 years, the Forest Service says wildfires have only gotten worse and it was time to take their warnings to the next level. The new ads aim to show that if Smokey the Bear can be killed by the very type of fire he works so tirelessly to prevent, it could happen to anyone at any time. So what's next for the long-running campaign? Well, now that their primary spokesperson is out of the picture, the Ad Council says the PSAs will shift focus to a new character named Little Brian. He's the boy whose family caused the fire in the first place, and he's grappling with crippling guilt over Smokey's death.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, August 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.70 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,186 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,439. Antiwar.com reports Colonel Sean Ryan, a spokesman for the U.S.-led coalition in Iraq, says that U.S. troops are intending to remain in Iraq as long as we think we're needed. He says this is vital to the stabilization of efforts in the post-the Islamic State Iraq. This is in keeping with other comments out of the Pentagon, where officials more or less uniformly envision a permanent U.S. military presence in Iraq and have not been shy in saying so. President Trump, however, disagrees and has said he's been keen to withdraw troops once the Islamic State is defeated. It's not unusual for President Trump not to see eye to eye with the military brass on long-term troop deployments. Iraq seems to be unusual in that instead of openly disagreeing with the president, the Pentagon's comments appear to totally discount his opinion and present their own plans as a foregone conclusion. Colonel Ryan said it was possible there could be some minor drawdowns of U.S. troops from Iraq in the future, and that even this would depend heavily on the rest of NATO committing substantial numbers of troops to Iraq for training operations. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports an Indian man faces prison and deportation after a federal jury convicted him of sexually assaulting a woman on board a Spirit Airlines flight, according to U.S. attorneys. Prabhu Ramamurthy penetrated a woman with his fingers as she slept in the seat next to him on board a flight from Las Vegas to Detroit on January 3rd. The assault woke her up, and she found her pants unbuttoned and unzipped. Ramamurthy's wife was sitting next to him as the assault took place. U.S. Attorney Matthew Snyder said in a statement, "Everyone has the right to be safe and secure when they travel on airplanes. We will not tolerate the behavior of anyone who takes advantage of victims who are in a vulnerable position, and we're glad the jury agreed." During the investigation, Ramamurthy admitted to police that he attempted to penetrate the woman with his fingers. He is in the United States on a work visa and is scheduled to be sentenced on December 12th, and prosecutors said he will be deported after serving his prison term. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a massive and deadly California wildfire that sent choking smoke into Yosemite National Park, causing a temporary closure of large parts of the tourist destination, is completely contained, according to fire officials. More than 3,000 personnel have battled the Ferguson fire, which ignited on July 13th and has burned through nearly 97,000 acres of steep slopes and bone-dry terrain southwest of the park, according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. 2 firefighters were killed while tackling the blaze and 19 others injured, according to CAL FIRE. Cooler weather and calmer winds in recent days have helped firefighters in California and other western states get a handle on major blazes, according to authorities. CAL FIRE spokeswoman Lynette Round said the weather is helping the fires to lay down and the firefighters are able to get better containment lines around them. The heart of Yosemite National Park, shut for nearly 3 weeks due to the Ferguson fire, was reopened to the public on Tuesday, but smoke lingered in the air and a few major roads into the park remained closed over the weekend. There were still sporadic fires within the containment lines, according to Yosemite Park officials, adding that visitors should exercise caution. The park's closure has taken a major toll on the local economy. Some 4.3 million visitors spent an estimated $452 million last year, most of that during the summer. While there has been progress in battling blazes nationwide, officials worry that lightning strikes in states such as Washington, Oregon, and Idaho could spark more wildfires. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Overburdened with material comforts, America's wealthy can expect another disappointing holiday this year. As Brian Scott tells us, the rich will simply be buying too many things to experience the true meaning of Christmas.
All across the country, those at the top of the economic ladder are denied a privilege that the poorest of the poor take for granted. Rather than fall victim to the rampant consumerism that seems to increase each year, the poor find meaningful joy in simple Christmas traditions, like singing carols to keep warm and hugging relatives who have not yet died. At stores like these, the spiritually bereft must scramble for popular holiday toys in a vain attempt to duplicate the Christmas-time happiness that the impoverished enjoy.
Poor people are grateful for just a roof over their heads or something to eat. My wife and I are both lawyers, so that's not enough for us. Certainly hope poor people don't take what they don't have for granted.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hodor. Hodor. Hodor.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by motionproject.org here on the Call to Freedom.
That's right, it's time for our Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM, brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. And, well, it's another beautiful day here in the Shire. We've got lots of news to cover for you in the crypto world.
Has the bloodbath ended?
Depends on what you're calling a bloodbath. We got another person arrested for selling Bitcoin. Jacob Burrell Campos, 20-year-old Bitcoin dealer, ordered held without bail today in connection with a 31-count indictment, charging him with operating an illegal money transmitting business, failing to maintain an anti-money laundering program, and international money laundering and conspiracy to structure monetary transactions. Burrell was arrested on August 13th as he tried to enter the United States from Mexico at the Otay Mesa port of entry.
The same border at which they want to build a wall.
Yeah.
To make it easier to catch people who are trying to enter into the United States. Okay.
Yeah. According to statements made in court by the Assistant U.S. Attorney Robert Ciaffa, during today's bond hearing, Burrell was a prolific Bitcoin dealer who sold approximately $750,000 worth of Bitcoin to hundreds of buyers throughout the United States. He conducted 971 separate transactions with over 900 individual customers and accepted cash in person through his bank accounts, MoneyGram, and Assistant U.S. Attorney Ciaffa told the courts today that Burrell operated Bitcoin as a Bitcoin exchanger, and his activities constituted a money transmitting business. As such, he was required to register with the Department of Treasury, comply with all anti-money laundering requirements, including reporting suspicious cash transactions. In this case, Burrell accepted cash with no questions asked and return for a 5% fee, supplied hundreds of individuals with an easy outlet to avoid the anti-money laundering laws applicable to all financial institutions, including licensed and registered Bitcoin exchanges. According to the Assistant U.S. Attorney Ciaffa, Burrell's activity, quote, blew a giant hole through the legal framework of U.S. anti-money laundering laws by soliciting and introducing into the U.S. banking system close to $1 million in unregulated cash. Burrell is also...
So what they're saying is that cash can be used in dirty, unlawful ways.
Right. Burrell's also charged with 28 counts of international money laundering. According to the indictment, Burrell sent 28 wire transfers totaling $900,000 from his bank accounts to the United States, to a bank account in Taiwan in the name of Bitfinex. Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency exchange located in Hong Kong. According to AUSA Ciaffa, Burrell sent the money from the United States to buy Bitcoin and fund his business. With these and other funds, Burrell bought over $3 million worth of Bitcoin in over 2,600 transactions. Burrell resorted to buying Bitcoin through Bitfinex after his account was closed by Coinbase.
Well, I think it was probably Bitfinex who dropped the dime on him. for opening the bank account in their name in Taiwan. You know?
To a account in Taiwan. No. Bitfinex is where he was getting he was sending the money to Bitfinex. That's what they're saying.
Well, it said he controlled the bank account in Taiwan.
No. It's not his account. It's an account in Taiwan.
Well, the article said that he was being, one of the accounts against him was that he was wiring money
his bank accounts in the United States to a bank account in Taiwan in the name of Bitfinex, a cryptocurrency exchange located in Hong Kong. According, he sent money from the U.S. to buy Bitcoin and fund his businesses. With these and other funds, he bought $3 million, and that he resorted to doing that on Bitfinex after Coinbase closed his account.
Well,
that name just keeps popping up in these cases, man. You ever notice that? Every single one of them.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's much significance in that, except everybody uses Coinbase. And after a certain amount of, I guess, Bitcoin sold, Coinbase is going to start asking questions, and you either have to give them a 100% satisfactory answer, or they're going to close your account.
No. They're not closing accounts. They're snitching people out.
I don't know. Maybe.
How else do you explain the fact that they're
so
buddy-buddy
he was doing
with
this with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That tends to get the state's eye all by itself.
Right.
I'm not defending Coinbase by any means, but I think that they would be more inclined to just wash their hands of the person.
Yeah. Absolutely. But no, that's not what they do. They don't just wash their hands of the person. They make a little phone call and, hey. Now, let's see here. And this is coming from justice.gov, by the way. Let's see here. The indictment also charges Burrell with conspiracy to structure the importation of monetary instruments, according to the statements made by the assistant U.S.
What the hell does that mean? Tom, what does that mean?
Hold on. Siafa in court today, Burrell agreed with others to smuggle over $1 million in U.S. dollars into the United States from Mexico, an amount slightly less than $10,000, in order to avoid the currency reporting requirements and the suspicious activity reports.
Well, Coinbase didn't tell them that he was smuggling money.
They didn't tell them that.
From the U.S.
But they do file SARs on you if you transfer $10,000 or more. They comply with the same stuff the banks do.
Well, I mean, it sounds like he was doing a lot of stupid stuff.
Yes.
And he got caught.
Yes.
And I mean, that sucks because the state shouldn't be policing things like that. But, I mean, what did he expect?
U.S. Magistrate Judge Karen S. Crawford has found that Burrell has significant ties to Mexico, citizenship in 3 different countries, no steady employment in the U.S., the ability to access large sums of cash, and a disdain or unwillingness to comply with U.S. laws. She concluded that Burrell posed a substantial risk of flight and ordered him held without bail. He was born in San Diego and currently lives in Rosarito, Baja California. Count 1, conducting an unlicensed money transmitting business in the U.S. in violation of 18 U.S. Code 1960, statutory maximum 5 years in prison, $250,000 fine. Count 2, failing to maintain an anti-money laundering program in violation of 18 U.S. Code 5318, 5332, statutory minimum 10 years in prison, $500,000 fine. International money laundering in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1956, statutory maximum 20 years in prison for each count.
So he's already looking at 35 years minimum.
And then
or
conspiracy to
maximum.
structure international instruments transactions in violation of U.S. Code 371 and 31 U.S.C. 5324, 5 years in prison, another $250,000 fine. Agencies involved: the Postal Inspection Services, the Internal Revenue Service, and Homeland Security. Financial fraud. Southern California.
Well, you certainly don't want Homeland Security's attention when you do things.
Right? For real.
I mean, it sounds like
I should never do anything.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he was taking measures to avoid, the eyes of the government, and that they still got him.
Well, that's why they looked at him. There are things that they look for that people do to avoid the eyes of the government, and he did all of them.
Like regularly depositing $9,999.
Yes,
that sort
exactly.
of thing. Yeah, that tends to get their attention, man.
It does. All right, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom, turns out that Australians can now pay their bills in Bitcoin. We'll tell you how when we get back here on the Call to Freedom in just a moment.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. I almost forgot. So yeah, as we were saying before we left, we've got a story here that we figured you guys might find interesting. It says now that all Australians can pay their bills with Bitcoin. CoinTree and Gobble have announced a partnership that allows Australians to pay their bills using cryptocurrency. Now, the former cryptocurrency exchange platform, while the latter is a billing platform, together they have created a cryptocurrency bills payment system irrespective of whether the business accepts digital coins or not. CoinTree, which already...
So it's going to be more like that fake spending crypto thing that Starbucks did, where you're sending crypto to a third-party intermediary. They keep the crypto and they send cash to the other company.
Yeah. We only launched in the last year. We have a small number of users, but the partnership with CoinTree and with our other My Prosperity will see more growth. Fast forward into the future, and what we're seeing is, like it or not, this will be part of our daily lives. Gobble already let people pay bills from their cards or bank accounts, so now they can pay in cryptocurrency too. According to CoinTree's manager of operations, Jess Rendon, last year alone, CoinTree had about $100 million worth of bills paid and saw 10 times growth in this payment feature. The new partnership will most likely come as a welcome development for cryptocurrency enthusiasts in Australia. Cryptocurrencies continue to remain anathema to most prominent banks in the country. Thus, the partnership provides another adoption case for crypto believers down under. Paying bills with cryptocurrency, apart from the CoinTree Gobble partnership, there are other platforms that allow users to settle their bills using cryptocurrency. May of 2018, another Australia-based startup, Living Room of Satoshi, launched a service that allows Aussies to pay their domestic bills using Bitcoin. At the time, the company reported that it had facilitated more than $5 million worth of bill payment transactions. Outside Australia, there are other similar platforms and services. As early as 2014, a company called Bill Ninja was already enabling people in the Philippines to pay their bills via Bitcoin. In the EU, there's BitBill, which works for countries that support SEPA transfers, such as Germany, Belgium, France, and the Netherlands. Unlike most services of this nature that utilize Bitcoin only, BitBill supports more than 20 cryptocurrencies.
Well, good on them.
Right. So now, if you happen to move to Australia, or you're down there, you can pay bills.
I'm not sold on the idea of turning over our cryptocurrency to big corporations that are already largely in control of the world, because they utilize the state in order to establish monopolies over industries and, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Over, energy and, things that we need, internet services, all of that kind of crap. There's a word
Utilities.
for it. Utilities. There we go. Thank you. They're the last people who I would want to have our currency that, is decentralized and will ultimately, hopefully, tear down the state. Because it seems like they would be most inclined to just keep the cryptocurrency forever so that we can't use it to abolish the institution that has granted them their monopoly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So out of all of the things that can be purchased with cryptocurrency, I think corporations are probably the last things we should be purchasing from.
Is Tom even here?
He's never here during crypto hour.
Yeah, I'm here. There's a difference between here and having anything meaningful to contribute.
Well, we're talking about state corporations and currency. You have nothing to contribute to that.
I mean, that is who you do your job for, right?
I do my job for a private corporation that, while we would like to get into blockchain, is not really doing crypto. My boss did dabble in it, but I haven't asked him how his Bitcoin portfolio is doing since he...
I would not ask right now.
Yeah, I remember when it dropped to 9,000, and I was like, yeah, it dropped to 9,000. He was like, yeah, I just bought some more. Well...
It's now at 66% of that.
Right.
That's better than 33%.
Touche.
Oh, you mean what it was a few weeks ago? A couple months ago.
Yeah, I mean, if you bought it at its peak, it's a 33% of what you bought it for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, others are doing worse. Ripple has lost like 97%, I think.
Verge went from
Dash is down to.
Verge went from 28 cents to 1 cent. How much of its
value? Is it 1 cent now?
It's 1 cent now.
I'm so glad I got out of it.
Yeah.
It took me forever, but I bought it at 23 cents.
Yeah.
And sold it 2 cents.
Yep.
That sucked. Litecoin is still down substantially. Ethereum is still hovering around the $300 mark, but Dash is still getting murdered.
Yeah.
It's at like 150, down from its peak of about 900.
Yeah. Dash is at 148. Bitcoin at 64.65. Verge is at 1 penny. You know who's done the best out of all this? Digibytes.
I don't know anything about them.
They went up to about a nickel, and they came down to 3 cents.
It's not horrible.
No. But I mean, compared to everything
proportionally,
else,
that's like a loss of about 40%. So
yeah,
it's
but
not
when
good.
the choice is 28
Ethereum Classic
to 1,
is still doing okay.
I mean, how much of a loss? I don't know how to do the math. If you go from 28 cents to 1 cent, that's like what, 98% of its value? Yeah,
it's almost all of it.
Yeah. So I mean, if your choices are,
I wouldn't expect Verge to survive to the end of the year, to be totally honest. Well, I mean, yeah, sure, it will. But
will it stay over a penny?
I mean, Ravencoin is doing better than that.
I know. Ugh. All right. Well, when we get back here in just a little while, we're going to be talking about an effort that's going on to create a self-regulatory agency. That's right. The Winklevoss twins and a couple of different big exchanges, they're trying to create a self-regulatory group. We'll get into that when we get back.
If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near?
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out, so you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and we are in the middle of our crypto hour, brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. So, we've got some fun to have here.
Awesome.
We've got something that I figure you would be interested in, since it's something we talk about. I'm not really sure if it's going to be what we want, but the Winklevoss twins, Gemini, teams up with 3 big exchanges to form a self-regulating group. 4 cryptocurrency exchanges, including Gemini, the one founded by the Winklevoss brothers, is purportedly setting up a working group to bring new industry standards. The Winklevoss twins cryptocurrency exchange Gemini is teaming up with 3 other exchanges to form a new self-regulatory organization dubbed the Virtual Commodity Association Working Group. The exchanges in the newly formed organization, besides Gemini, are Bittrex, Bitflyer, and Bitstamp. Bittrex is the initial participant in the Virtual Commodity Association's working group. The working group will work towards the goal of establishing an industry-sponsored self-regulatory organization to oversee the virtual commodity marketplaces. Securities exchanges and equity markets have their very own organization which comes up with the common standards for the industry and responds to declarations by regulators. Wait a second. This doesn't sound like a self-regulating group to keep government out.
No, it sounds like government says something, so they leap right to it.
We will be watchdogs for the government against the crypto industry.
And I mean, that's probably going to be unavoidable as long as there's a state. I'm pretty sure that's how IEEE functions as well. Is that, hey, Wi-Fi security isn't up to standards or whatever, so they introduce, WPA2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a great sign that multiple competing exchanges have recognized that working together to improve the overall industry is in their mutual self-interest. Patrick Rooney of Trading Technologies, on the other hand, notes that an organization of the kind could bridge the communication between regulators and the industry itself. It's exactly what I just said. I'm sure DC...
No, see, we want to burn that bridge. We don't want to...
And what's on the other side of it.
We don't want you to drop your pants for the federal government.
Yeah, that's what crypto was created to get rid of.
Yeah. We want you to give them the finger and help us destroy them with crypto.
Won't it be sad when all the libertarians stop using crypto because the state has finally made it to where it's like, well, what's the point? And it seems like there's a lot of people in crypto that's what they want.
Yeah, because profit's better than everything else. And that's all they care about. And there would be profit in it. I mean, whatever cryptocurrency the government mark says, hey, this cryptocurrency is the good one.
So it's not only will they not pick principles over, well, I mean, what do you expect? A group that won't pick principles over party, you think they'll print principles over profit?
No, I know they won't. I mean, that's exactly what we have with Bill Weld, is them choosing profit over principles. And expected Mitt Romney recruiting, although I think he'll decline, still it's money over principles.
I'm sure DC would like to have a common voice speaking for them, so it'll certainly benefit communication to regulators, as well as the trading community. I love how the trading community is always secondary, like a government and the customers. But government will have plenty of conversation with government and regulators and people who will throw you in prison. But the customers, we'll talk to them too.
How about screw the governments? I mean, really, this is not complicated.
They want to stay out of prison, Aria.
I mean, but that's exactly it. If everyone does slowly, because it'll be a long process, start using cryptocurrency.
If everyone said no, then they would have just thrown everybody in prison.
Well, no, because everyone would have said no. They would have no one to pay for the prisons. That's what I'm getting at. Mass adoption of cryptocurrency means the government has no way to pay for this crap. And sure, it's a long road, a slow road, a painful and difficult road.
They're already finding ways for you to pay your taxes in crypto in California.
Yeah, but screw that.
It would be California.
Stop using Bitcoin and start using something like Zencash, and they can't trace it. So they can't figure out how many assets you actually have.
California's like, hey, you can pay your fines, your bail, your taxes, all in crypto.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Bill Clinton speaking at Ripple in San Francisco?
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about that.
Well, I mean, is the Ripple conference in San Francisco? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Isn't that one of the homes of the Federal Reserve?
It's at least in California. I recall that.
The Ripple, the Swell 2018 conference in San Francisco. That's correct.
Also, where Coinbase is located.
Shocking.
But I mean, California, especially that part of California, they are the tech capital of the world. So,
and filled with statists.
Yeah.
Sad.
I imagine those two things are probably related.
Techies like statism?
No, most of the libertarians I know are techies.
Okay, I'm confused then.
Well, it's sort of similar to how, Hollywood first started by going there where laws didn't exist on that particular area. And then they used that lack of law to become popular and successful and rich.
And then had laws written so that no one else could.
Yeah. And, that same gap exists today in cryptocurrency and law. So if they want to go somewhere where they can, take control of the industry because there's no regulation there, and then use that control to put regulation there to entrench themselves indefinitely.
Yeah. Well, that's the way that it works. That's our system. It's built that way.
Oh, yeah.
You go in, you make the money, then the government comes in and points a gun at you and goes, we don't like what you're doing. We're going to throw you in jail. And then you go, I'll give you some money. And they go, oh, okay, so we'll let you do it and we'll throw anybody else that does it in jail.
Yep. I mean, that's literally the Federal Reserve. I mean, our entire currency is built on that, and they want to make cryptocurrency that.
Our economic system is built on that, yeah.
And cryptocurrency is the only thing that can, destroy that horrible, exploitative, inflationary system.
And the new people getting into the crypto industry, because they're motivated by profits, are going to undo all of that.
Yeah.
Satoshi's vision means nothing because they can take Satoshi's product. See, that was the problem Satoshi had, was he thought people would have his vision and totally didn't. I don't think he expected what ended up happening, which was for people to go, oh, well, I can get rich quick off of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was ever supposed to become an asset, but I mean, once it did, this was kind of always going to be the result. I mean, it's too valuable. Bitcoin, at least, is too valuable for its own good.
Bitcoin too valuable for its own good. Yeah. Too valuable for our good.
I don't know. I think it's for its own good as well. Certainly for ours. But I mean, we have alternatives that we can use that, don't have the problems that Bitcoin has. And that's why we promote those alternatives like Zencash and Bingcash.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So when we get back, guys, we're going to, what is this? Losing Lambos. That's the title. Losing the Lambos. It'll make sense when we get back. Don't worry.
Well, guys. I know that's slang in crypto for Lamborghinis.
So. Yeah. People.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated. So send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
You blow up a hospital, you're in violation of international humanitarian law. You are in violation of the law of war. From the military, quote, every violation of the law of war is a war crime. And I've had people jump on me for saying that blowing up a hospital in Kunduz, Afghanistan that was being operated by Doctors Without Borders, I've had people jump on me for saying that's a war crime. Damn right it's a war crime. You blew up a hospital. I think every person, from the guy flying the airplane to the guy that gave the order to the guy above him, all the way up to Barack Obama, need to be held accountable for their war crime. And I'm not going to shut up about this until something happens.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits.
All right, it's time for the last segment of our Call to Freedom Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. And, well, it looks like a little FUD. Crypto's in crisis! Ah! That's what the newspapers say. But then again...
Not the Eagle Times.
Then again, if...
It's saying you should be mining crypto.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Aria is writing for the Eagle Times now and wrote an article all about using gaming computers to mine cryptocurrency, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. We'll have to read... I'm going to make you read that on the air tomorrow.
It's next Sunday.
Oh, next Sunday. Okay, well, there you go. Well, the mainstream press outlets are covering the battled crypto markets, and they're constantly invoking that phrase of crypto in crisis. Well, for those of us
it's the new WMD.
Well, for those of us who have followed the cryptocurrency scene for, I don't know, maybe 5 years, the natural retort's, when hasn't it been in crisis? I would suggest that crisis, or at least relentless chaotic drama, is the natural state for an open source technology that engages a diverse global leaderless community in exploring an idea that promises to recognize the fabric of our economy. The outcome of this grand experiment is unknowable, but if we accept that the prospect of replacing 5,000 years of centralized record keeping with a decentralized model of computerized consensus is rife with transformative potential, then we must also accept that it will generate wild, impossible to measure predictions along with rampant speculation and hype. By extension, these will frequently also generate fear and disappointment, and unavoidably, price volatility. The other thing you'll hear from crypto veterans, yes, just 5 years in Bitcoin land qualifies you for that title, is that crisis and Bitcoin's capacity to survive it is precisely what proves its worth.
How many times has it died now?
Right. The meme most frequently used to describe this resilient quality is that of Bitcoin as the honey badger. But I prefer Andreas Antonopoulos' sewer rat analogy. Bitcoin's as tough as nails, subterranean rodent that has proven that it can take whatever the world throws at it. Are increasingly, well, so far at least, the U.S. government's not done.
No, they haven't even started on Bitcoin.
We've only had, what, like 4 prosecutions successful prosecution. Well, and they're not even really successful. No, nobody's taken it to trial. They've threatened, that like this cat here, they're like, yeah, 30, 20, 10, 10, and 5. That's what you're looking at. Or if you'll just say you did it and let us get a W, we'll give you 1. Or we'll give you 5. And they're not forcing the state to prove that something that calls.
Well, the state doesn't care if they prove it or not. Not really.
They call it currency out of one side of their mouth, and then they call it commodity out the other side of their mouth. And we want to we want it to be a currency, but we want to tax it as a commodity. We want to pass laws on it as though it's a currency, and enforce laws as though it's a currency, and enforce money laundering laws as though it's a currency.
I have a naive question.
I want to tax you based as a commodity, because then we can tax you at a higher rate.
Well, why can't technology just be allowed to grow and develop without the government getting involved in it?
Because
government not doing stuff? Are you crazy?
Some guy bought in before the Mt. Gox thing happened, and a bunch of money, and complained to his cousin
even if that
at the
didn't
FBI.
happen, we would be in pretty much the same situation today that we are in. I mean, they regulate everything.
They were trying to regulate Bitcoin, I guess, back in 2011. I didn't even know that.
That monitor is regulated. Why couldn't we just develop computer monitors without the government getting involved? Why couldn't we do phones without the government getting involved?
If you didn't have to pay them to inspect the products, how would they make money?
Yeah.
I mean, that's their that's their income. Why can't it? Because it makes money for it to not to be. That's why. That's a simple answer. Because the government makes money off of it being the opposite.
Well, I mean, I know that the real answer is money and control for sure.
Yeah.
They don't want anything to exist outside of their sphere of control, because then, the possibility exists for us to develop technologies that do exactly what cryptocurrency is supposed to do, which is, dismantle the state's stranglehold grip on us. So
why, when I can make a quick buck?
Yeah, right.
And that's why I have so little respect for people that work with Ripple, that work with Coinbase, work with Itbit now, and they're all up in the middle of these things. You know whose name I've yet to see, right?
Kraken?
That's right. That's the name I've not seen in any of these prosecutions yet. It's Kraken. Everybody else.
Kraken has a pretty good track record of giving people the finger. So
far.
I hope they keep it up.
That way.
Giggity.
Yeah.
Hope that it stays that way.
The finger, Tom, not the stink finger.
But now the FBI, I hear, is like up their butt with a microscope right now.
Oh, Krakens?
Over accusations of price manipulation.
I don't even have to giggity that one.
Yeah. I would be unsurprised if it came out 2 or 3 years from now that Coinbase and Itbit and all the filleting the government that they're doing is around that, trying to curry favor so they can pay a little fine and everybody will be okay. And nobody will go to jail. We'll feed you other people to put in jail. Just don't put us there, and we'll give you some money. I would not in the least bit be surprised that that's what's going on.
Well, I mean,
Coinbase is in the
that's how the system works. Well, we know they are. I mean, there's no doubt that they are cooperating with the authorities, and the only reason they would do that is to stay out of trouble. I think the whole thing at the beginning
was feigned. It was BS. They were like, "Oh, we don't want to give you this paperwork. Here you go." I think they did it because they thought if they didn't, they would lose so much credibility that they would lose their customer base. But the customer base has gotten so big and is no longer the people that it was originally that are against the regulations. Bitcoin has become too mainstream.
I think ideologically they probably were opposed to it, but when push came to shove, they buckled like people tend to do.
I know libertarians. I see at all the events. They work for Coinbase. They can go to all the events, and they work there. I'm like, how do you work?
Like we were talking about earlier on Telegram, you can't always pick your job.
Yeah, true.
But you would imagine that someone working on Coinbase has the financial stability that they could,
or the qualifications.
Yeah. You would hope. Considering they don't even have a customer support staff, apparently.
Right.
They just have some 6th grader on Twitter.
Well, according to the author here, rather than constantly talking about price fluctuations, what the crypto community should do is engage the world in a proper discussion about blockchain technology's potential. Let's have a less to the moon and Lambo talk and a more discussions about promises of peer-to-peer exchanges, smart contracts, and decentralized applications.
No, ordinary people don't give a crap about that.
And that's all going away.
Yeah, you reach ordinary people by saying, hey, this currency will hold its value. So if you take that $100 that's losing value and you transfer it into Bitcoin, then it will likely gain value. And even if it doesn't, it's more than likely in the long run.
Lose value at a slower rate than your dollars do.
Well, in the long run, it's likely to gain value, or at the very least to maintain its value. So, I mean, you don't offer, but this blockchain technology can revolutionize the world. People are going to roll their eyes if they hear anything you say. But if you say,
voting.
You can take this $100 and turn it into $150. That's when they listen. I mean, especially if you have a track record of being able to demonstrate, hey, look, these guys invested $150 5 years ago, and now they're millionaires. And people go, oh, well, wait a minute. But now people are also hearing stories of, I bought Bitcoin when it was at 9,000 and now it's 6,000 and I lost, 33% of my money in it. So that's what people are hearing. They're not hearing the...
Right. I love that every time you talk about blockchain-based voting, this is what you hear from computer people. Kill it with fire! Right now! I love that.
Electoral voting?
Yes.
Yeah, destroy it. Kill it.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, August 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.70 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,186 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,439. Antiwar.com reports Colonel Sean Ryan, a spokesman for the U.S.-led coalition in Iraq, says that U.S. troops are intending to remain in Iraq as long as we think we're needed. He says this is vital to the stabilization of efforts in the post-the Islamic State Iraq. This is in keeping with other comments out of the Pentagon, where officials more or less uniformly envision a permanent U.S. military presence in Iraq and have not been shy in saying so. President Trump, however, disagrees and has said he's been keen to withdraw troops once the Islamic State is defeated. It's not unusual for President Trump not to see eye to eye with the military brass on long-term troop deployments. Iraq seems to be unusual in that instead of openly disagreeing with the president, the Pentagon's comments appear to totally discount his opinion and present their own plans as a foregone conclusion. Colonel Ryan said it was possible there could be some minor drawdowns of U.S. troops from Iraq in the future, and that even this would depend heavily on the rest of NATO committing substantial numbers of troops to Iraq for training operations. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need SpendaBit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. SpendaBit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. spendabit.co. UPI reports an Indian man faces prison and deportation after a federal jury convicted him of sexually assaulting a woman on board a Spirit Airlines flight, according to U.S. attorneys. Prabhu Ramamurthy penetrated a woman with his fingers as she slept in the seat next to him on board a flight from Las Vegas to Detroit on January 3rd. The assault woke her up, and she found her pants unbuttoned and unzipped. Ramamurthy's wife was sitting next to him as the assault took place. U.S. Attorney Matthew Snyder said in a statement, "Everyone has the right to be safe and secure when they travel on airplanes. We will not tolerate the behavior of anyone who takes advantage of victims who are in a vulnerable position, and we're glad the jury agreed." During the investigation, Ramamurthy admitted to police that he attempted to penetrate the woman with his fingers. He is in the United States on a work visa and is scheduled to be sentenced on December 12th, and prosecutors said he will be deported after serving his prison term. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a massive and deadly California wildfire that sent choking smoke into Yosemite National Park, causing a temporary closure of large parts of the tourist destination, is completely contained, according to fire officials. More than 3,000 personnel have battled the Ferguson fire, which ignited on July 13th and has burned through nearly 97,000 acres of steep slopes and bone-dry terrain southwest of the park, according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. 2 firefighters were killed while tackling the blaze and 19 others injured, according to CAL FIRE. Cooler weather and calmer winds in recent days have helped firefighters in California and other western states get a handle on major blazes, according to authorities. CAL FIRE spokeswoman Lynette Round said the weather is helping the fires to lay down and the firefighters are able to get better containment lines around them. The heart of Yosemite National Park, shut for nearly 3 weeks due to the Ferguson fire, was reopened to the public on Tuesday, but smoke lingered in the air and a few major roads into the park remained closed over the weekend. There were still sporadic fires within the containment lines, according to Yosemite Park officials, adding that visitors should exercise caution. The park's closure has taken a major toll on the local economy. Some 4.3 million visitors spent an estimated $452 million last year, most of that during the summer. While there has been progress in battling blazes nationwide, officials worry that lightning strikes in states such as Washington, Oregon, and Idaho could spark more wildfires. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The entire nation has been transfixed by the emotional saga of missing toddler Aaron Crawford. Police remain baffled by 4-year-old Aaron's mysterious disappearance. The Crawford family is finally speaking out, but it isn't easy.
We're taking it day by day, you know? We just miss our baby so much.
This must be so hard on everyone.
All he does is cry. I hate him.
Little Aaron was last seen in the bedroom he shares with his older brother, Denny. Authorities say he was abducted by an intruder in the middle of the night.
Denny was in the room when Aaron was taken.
Yeah, right here. Now it's just my room.
Denny, can you tell us what happened?
I was in my room. A man lifted up the window and came in.
Were you scared?
Yes, because I thought he's going to take my Xbox.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is a Monday afternoon broadcast here on your drive home, and it is another beautiful day in the Shire. We're broadcasting live from our Zencastr studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. I said that already, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I'm so exhausted. I really am. The weekend thing just killed me.
I'm sure.
I've started a new job. I'm doing the floors at TJ Maxx. For this company, and basically what I do is they have me come in when other people are on vacation. I go in 6 o'clock in the morning, do the floors, get everything ready, and then leave, around 10 o'clock. And then I had the big event that I went and did on Saturday, which meant getting up early in the morning, drove all the way to New Haven, Connecticut. Great event at the New Haven Islamic Center there with Imam Bashir and the wonderful youth there. Gave my presentation, great food, come back home. I got to clean AT&T. I'm there till after 1 o'clock in the morning, then come home, go to bed and get back up at 6 o'clock, go back. And I'm just like, I can't, I need a nap, yo. Now we were talking about libertarians in the first hour holding themselves to a higher standard than what statists hold the state, and saying, we're not going to say that people would behave better without a state. We're going to do it. Yeah. We're going to do it. And how that doesn't really seem to mesh with some libertarians for some reason. Why, I'm still not sure, but it doesn't for some odd reason.
Well, because libertarians are people, and in any group of people, you're going to have some bad ones.
Okay. Yeah, what we wanted to move along to was this. I've run into it, and I said this to Aria before, and she says it's not just because they're atheists. It's it's a plethora of things. It could be the intersection of atheists and libertarianism that brings it about, or it could just be that there's some really daft people and they all seem to hang around each other. But
everybody else kicks them out.
Well, there was a quote that was posted, a philosophical quote that was posted today from Jiddu Krishnamurti. And first of all, he is an atheist. He is an atheist philosopher. And they just couldn't wrap their head around this idea that he put forward. And Tom already has begun their arguments. So I know this is going to be a lot of fun. But
which means Nietzsche versus Aquinas, round 3.
Oh, Nietzsche versus Aquinas versus like Gaddafi. Ibn Rushd. This should be fun. And as you can hear to my left, we've got Melanie.
Hey.
Is with us, normally on Monday nights with Free Talk Live, and sometimes graces us with her presence on a Monday afternoon before Free Talk Live starts. Sometimes we get her and sometimes we don't. But she's here with us today and live in studio as well. We got Ario Demezzo and live via remote, the legal mind himself, Mr. Tom Gray. So the quote that I've got here that I think we're going to have so much fun talking about, again, it's from Jiddu Krishnamurti. And you guys are welcome to call in as well. It's 603-283-6160 and get in on the conversation. It says, a cup is only useful when it's empty. And a mind that is filled with beliefs, dogmas, assertions, and quotations is really an uncreative mind. Now,
well, first of all, his analogy is really stupid. Because cups are very useful when there's stuff in them. Because you want to move the stuff from place to place without
yeah, but that cup's not being useful. That cup is in use. Those are two different states.
No, they're not.
They are.
No.
I would agree with Will that they're different states, but I would also like to say that the cup is the most irrelevant part of the quote.
Yeah, I know.
and focusing on that part of it, I mean, it seems like it would qualify as intellectual dishonesty, like saying, "But to Jesus, but human beings aren't actually, fruit on trees."
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's like, okay, you're totally missing the point.
Well, see, Tom says a cup is useful if it has something in it, right? Well, what if your purpose as a philosopher, as a teacher, is to pour into the cup? That's your job. That's our job.
But so I might have something that I need to build on. So if you just give me an infant and you're like...
If the cup is full, though, you can't build on it. It will overflow.
If you're just full of a bunch of
but
ad
full
hoc
and
conclusions...
full and not empty are different things. He did say it has to be empty to be useful, and that's not true. It just has to be not full.
Yeah, because if you give me an infant and tell me, convert this infant to anarchist extremism, I can't help you. There's got to be... Like, I'm not saying infants are complete...
What are you talking about? All infants are anarchists.
No, they're not.
They totally are.
I think it's not until the age of toddlers that they start being indoctrinated to believe in authority figures, right?
But that doesn't make them anarchists. That makes them not have an opinion on the issue.
Blank slate.
Well,
that's
tabula
anarchism.
rasa. And means without.
Tabula rasa, yeah.
That's a good idea, Tom. Atheism should be renamed to antheism.
Antheism.
But "an" means against and "a" means without. So all infants are atheists, but they're not anarchists. It's an obnoxious statement to say that they're atheists.
I'm not an anarchist. I'm an anarchist.
Actually, "a" and "an" have the same meaning. The difference is that archi, or arcos rather, starts with a vowel, so it has the "n" in it. But I'm thinking more of just a way to distinguish ourselves from the "there is no God" atheists. Whether it's grammatically correct or not, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to group myself with those idiots.
Well, but what he's saying, okay, he's speaking as a teacher and as a philosopher, right? So if I come to you and your head is already full of garbage, then, and you already know.
How is he going to fill it with garbage then?
Well, right. So if he's implying that you're just having a bunch of conclusions. Okay, that's a problem because you have no process to figure out new information. But just because you have beliefs doesn't mean that nobody can work with that. It's an overgeneralization.
But he didn't just say beliefs. He said dogma. And dogma is a different level of belief. I'm sorry. Dogma is like unwavering.
But that doesn't mean you have a dogma for every single possible position. You can have some positions that you're just not going to argue about. Or not that you're not going to argue about, but that you're not going to... You could have positions that are premises.
But see, then you're not dealing with the full cup. Okay? If your position on it is like my position about atheism or extraterrestrials or whatever, and it's just, I don't have an opinion on it,
then you can still accept.
Then that cup is completely empty.
So that's a false dichotomy. It's not either an empty cup or a full cup. It can have any level of beliefs in it.
Yeah, but the point is to always be the empty cup, to always be able to accept more information, more
to never believe that you're absolutely right. Because once people believe that they're correct about something, they stop looking for alternative answers, and they definitely stop listening to them.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, if the point is to have a vessel that can always hold more stuff, then the cup's useless in the first place because cups have finite limits.
And that finite limit is expressed when you reach a point where you can't learn. That's the point, Tom, is that the finality is, I know. Gordo is a full cup. You can't tell the man anything. He knows. He knows all about the Bible. He knows all about the Quran. He knows all about everything. He's a full cup. He is full of dogma, opinions, and quotations. He is the full cup. And he's useless.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's another wonderful day here. We are joined in the studio by Melanie, normally from Free Talk Live, and we've also got Ariana Mezzo and live via remote, Mr. Tom Gray. Now, as we were leaving, I was talking about a mutual acquaintance of mine and Tom's. Gentlemen, I had it backwards. It's not Gordo, it's O'Gord.
Olgord.
Yeah.
O-L.
And O'Gord is he's a full cup is what he is.
I mean, most people are, because they don't understand the limitations of their own brain.
Yeah.
So they believe they can know something with certainty.
Well, he came to me a few years ago and feigned that he wanted to learn. It's like, I've heard that you are a person to learn from and that I have some mistaken views and that you're the person I should talk to. And I'm like, sure, yeah, not a problem. And I engaged in this with him for a few months, downloaded a bunch of materials to send him videos of really good lectures, classroom level materials. And after a few months, I realized I was dealing with a full cup. There's a point where you're teaching someone and you're like, your sources are bad. Your sources are bad.
Yeah.
And here's why. And after you spend 3 months of showing the inconsistencies and inaccuracies of a source, and they bring you that source again in an accusatory tone, I've got you now. This same source that's been wrong on everything else, I've got you now. They just put a new article out today.
Well, it sounds like you were trapped in what transactional analysis psychologists would call a game, where he wasn't trying to be convinced. He was trying to reinforce his own positions and using you to that end.
And was not at all is the problem, though. Like, how do you do that? If you go to a person to reinforce your position for 4 months, and for 4 months they kick you in the balls over and over and over again.
People just aren't rational. It doesn't matter. Most people just aren't rational.
He probably never once felt like you had actually addressed any of his
everyone
criticisms.
He knew was like, he's kind of got you there. And even then he was like...
So he was doing this publicly.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So it was all about validating his own positions. I mean, you had no chance of ever reaching him anyway. So, I mean, he didn't know he got kicked in the balls.
Everybody else around did, and he totally missed it.
Yeah.
A full cup.
He was like, no, I'm wearing a cup.
Right.
Still doesn't, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
He still got that shirt that says Islam sucks pickled pig's feet and wears it like it's original.
What a stupid shirt.
That just doesn't even... That's not clever. It's not funny. It doesn't mean anything.
It's not funny, but you have to admit, it is original. I've never seen that one before.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's original, but that doesn't mean...
I've seen a lot of anti-Muslim T-shirts in my day. That one's original. I've not heard that one yet.
Pickled pig's feet is uniquely mountain Islamophobic.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Because pickled pig's feet is a real thing that we eat up here, too. You know, it's not like Islam sucks bacon. No.
Pickled pig feet.
That wouldn't work. It's got to be pickled pig's feet.
That's right. Hog balls.
Exactly. Well, not even...
Mountain oysters. Why didn't he just say mountain oysters?
Well, I mean, it's stupid because Muslims don't eat pig.
Yeah.
So Islam cannot suck pickled pig's feet.
That's the point.
That's the point.
That's the point.
No, he should have used something that was permitted by Islam then, but that ordinary people would find disgusting.
But it wasn't trying to be intelligent. It was trying to just be offensive for the sake of being offensive.
That's why my first response was, that's stupid.
Yeah.
It is stupid.
It's stupid.
Your first response was right.
It's old gourd. I mean, this is a guy who I spent 4 months with everyone he knows going, every time, like, why do you keep calling this kid in here? Like, every time you're like, I got you now. And, no, you don't. Really, you don't. You think you do. And over and over and over again. And sometimes acknowledging, I'm wrong. You're right. I can't.
Interesting.
And still,
I mean, that's not typical of a TA game to admit that they're wrong, because I mean, it's all about parent, child, and adult interactions with one another, and he was kind of coming to you adult to adult. But by admitting that he's wrong, in terms of TA, he would be putting himself in the child position with you in the parent position, and that's an inversion of what you would expect.
He's asking me to take the 10-part series by Hamza Yusuf that he did in 1997 on all the different things, like the one where it talks about taxes and the atheism being related to language and all that stuff. And it basically lays out the religion in 10 1-hour classes for, beginner non-Muslims. And he was asking me for these things. Like, I bought a tafsir from South Africa for the guy that's still, I just donated it to the library a few weeks ago because it was still at my house. And even yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wow, this is really kind of weird that, like, you see these sources are bad. Why do you keep going? And I even said that to him. I was like, look, you've seen over and over and over again, your source, this specific source is garbage. I've shown you. You've literally seen with your own eyes that they use stock images to create a view of an event that didn't actually happen, that they report false stories, that they out and out lie. I've showed you where they've misquoted texts.
Wait a minute. I think I can guess the news source. I can't think of Raw Story. Is that it?
No, this was some other anti-Muslim, like Bare Naked Islam or some nonsense. And I'm like, I've showed you over and over and over
So he
again.
was going to a website called Bare Naked Islam
and
to get factual information.
That's the best part. It's like,
I too like to go to
Islam.com.
godsucks.com to get Bible information.
That's what I said that to him. I was like, you know what? I know that whenever I want to study Christianity, I go to evilbible.com.
Yeah.
Because that's a real website. It's literally a website called evilbible.com. And I know when I want to learn about a faith, I go to a site that's devoted to telling me it's evil. That's run by people of a different faith. Because when I want to learn how to fix my transmission, the best guy to ask is a marshmallow maker.
That's like a thing. There are people out there who just make marshmallows, and
I
that's all they do for a living?
I don't know, but it's for the sake of this analogy, evidently there has to be.
The best guy to ask is certainly not the guy who drank the transmission fluid.
For real, yeah. How's this? When you go have your heart bypass done, ask the guy that pumps your gas. Have him do it. Have the guy with a degree in physics do it. That'll work.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, it's a Monday afternoon. You know what that music means. We haven't had one of these in a few weeks because it's been so quiet since the National Convention, but it's time for a Libertarian Drama Remix. That's right, some libertarian out there created a big enough drama storm over the weekend that we've been forced to change our Friday night lineup and add a little bit on the end of our Monday afternoon.
Well, it's likely to have died down by this Friday as well.
Yeah.
Or something even dumber will have happened.
Yeah. So, we've got Senate candidate in New Hampshire, Justin O'Donnell. Not the smartest thing to say here.
No, you want me to pull up his actual original post while you read his apology?
I was looking at the post from yesterday, 1:39 a.m. She looks like a sex robot that was programmed by somebody so far deep on the autism spectrum that they were just like,
oh, for Pete's sake.
I think this is how people express emotions.
Y'all told me about the horribly sexist part. You didn't tell me about the anti-autism part. Crying out loud.
Yeah.
How many people on the autism spectrum are on the LNC? Judging by some of the stuff they do, a lot of them.
With no offense to anyone, I think the LP is generally filled with people who are somewhere on the autism spectrum, is it not?
Probably. That's the joke amongst ourselves, somewhere. At least. That's the joke.
Well, I mean it sincerely. I'm pretty sure that that's true.
If it wasn't for Asperger's, we wouldn't have an audience.
So,
he is officially issued an apology.
Only he lied and buried the lead and, left out one of the key words of the bigoted crap that he posted on Facebook prior to that.
It's coming. Hey, where'd the apology go? It disappeared. I can't find it anymore.
What a surprise.
He probably got called out by everyone in the comments and going, hey, you left out one of the words in your apology, the word that got everybody so angry at you in the first place. Because that was the core of his apology. He's like, I said that she looked like a robot who was being programmed to mimic human emotions. That was the apology. No, keeping in mind the original post described her as a sex robot. And the general sentiment that people had when they responded was, you wouldn't put the word sex in there if this was a guy. You would say they looked like a robot who was displaying human emotions. But you said sex robot. And the reason you did that is because she's a female. And not just a female, a relatively hot female.
I can't find it anymore.
And we all know that to be true. That's the stereotype of what a sex robot is. Just some attractive robot that men want to have sex with. So obviously she's going to be female. And he's saying this about a woman because she's a woman. No one would think to describe a dude as a sex robot. Right? I mean, women aren't even supposed to have dildos without being criticized or called sluts or whatever. Much less an entire sex robot. And it's still cringy for dudes to have sex robots, but for some reason it's just kind of expected that it's going to happen.
Yeah. If nothing else, it's supposed to be like the
what
magic.
What are you talking about? It's expected that we're going to have sex robots.
It's expected by the internet. I I don't know how well that's going to actually
people
carry.
on the internet.
Hold on,
have
Tom.
you priced one of
hold
those
on, Tom.
things?
You could
No.
not. Hold on. You could not have afforded a phone in 1980, a cell phone in 1984 either. Nor could you have afforded a 70-inch TV in 1992.
Well, you're giving me hope, but you're not solving the immediate issue.
Well, I didn't say you still have it when you were young.
I think in the 1980s, if I had had a choice between a cell phone and a robot.
Well, technology hadn't developed to that point yet.
But you didn't have that choice, so
No,
you just got a cell phone.
I didn't have that choice because I was 5, but...
Yeah, that'd have been a problem for other reasons.
Speak for yourself.
So,
anyway,
before we get accused of other things, yeah. So, didn't we study or talk about an article recently about how women couldn't tell the difference between sex robots and men?
I don't remember that.
I think we had that discussion. I was on the way out the studio last week.
Decided it was silly and scrolled past it.
Yeah, that was after the
show.
But
the problem is that people, and
that
not
sounds
just,
like the
not
kind
just
of article
men,
that Will and I would want to
people.
actively censor.
The problem is that people will fail the Turing test.
Okay, we
Here
have
we
the
go.
apology. Awesome.
I make a funny and over-the-top offensive joke about
No, you didn't. It wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. About Ocasio-Cortez's facial expressions being robotic and fake. Why?
Hold on, time out. I need to know whether or not Justin O'Donnell was one of the people criticizing Arvin for his joke on MeWe. For his funny joke that people overreacted to.
Well, because it was funny. Apparently, though, half the people who saw it are offended. I only saw 18 comments on it, yo. So, I mean, it's not like...
Well, he doesn't have a huge reach.
Interesting, Justin. What can you also say about half of humanity? What characteristic do those have in common that might have caused him to
that is an interesting split, right?
He's getting lectured about bad taste. It's in bad taste and mean, you say? I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that I gave a about being politically correct.
Oh, so this
I mean, you are running for office.
This reflects poorly on your candidacy and the LP.
It's not about political correctness, though. It's about not being a jerk.
Reflects poorly on...
Or a pig.
Who exactly? Apparently, just other libertarians, and if that's who we're counting on to win elections, then we'll never break 4% again. This is posted publicly. Your opponents could screenshot it, use it against you. Guess what? I dare them, because that would mean they would actually have to talk about me.
I would invite them to my F the Police rally I'll be holding next month in my campaign for sheriff.
Up to this point, there has been a complete media blackout on the fact that I'm even in the race.
I wonder why.
There's constant coverage and daily articles about all the other candidates, and never more than a one-sentence mention about me in the final line of the article. So I say screw it. Being respectable and trying to do everything normal hasn't worked. Apparently, we don't exist.
Okay, so you cannot be respectable, but also not call people you don't like sex robots.
Guess what, libertarians? You either have to start donating to campaigns in volumes significantly reasonable to achieve media buys and purchased attention, or stop bringing up campaign image and criticisms of others, because you can't have it both ways.
That's also a false dichotomy.
Oh, so now you can't criticize me because you haven't given me money. Get out of here, dude.
Basically what he's saying is that if you don't have the money to buy the attention, you have to go out and make it yourself, which I agree with.
Yeah, I agree, but that's not going to do it.
That's not going to do it. Nobody cares. Like, that's not a funny joke.
Because there's nothing original about being a sexist
pig. It's not even that offensive.
There's no way you're going to be the most famous sexist pig in the country and get media attention for it. The president is a sexist pig, and he barely gets attention for it anymore.
Libertarians have been throwing out garbage have been throwing manure against a wall, trying to see what sticks for 40 years without success. Why? Because our playbook is copied from the major parties, but our budget isn't. All your past campaign training is useless unless you start donating to some campaigns so that we can win.
What a codpiece.
Yeah, this
it's time
was
to start offending.
He did not post this because he wanted to get attention for his campaign. I mean, he simply didn't.
If you did, it would have been funnier.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
An amateur sailor has announced his plans to sail around the world to decrease awareness of important global issues. 29-year-old Michael Gilmer will cover approximately 28,000 nautical miles over 3 months, all the while drawing attention away from famine afflicting several African nations, revolution in the Middle East, flooding in Thailand, and economic instability across 5 continents.
The goal here is to really make people think about a young, overconfident on an expensive boat, rather than the pressing matters of substance that actually affect people's lives.
As Gilmer set off on his journey Thursday, something was happening in Washington. In local news, a cute 8-year-old is beginning to realize how much better she is than ugly girls.
Since I'm cute and they're not, that means that they're not as good as me.
In other news, a slaughterhouse worker is told to stop naming them all. And sure, an area man can watch your cat while his life is falling apart, no problem. You have just participated in a large-scale psychological research study. Please fill out the attached liability waiver and send it to theonion.com/newsbeat.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Welcome back here to the final segment of our third hour. That means it's time for our cannabis news. That's right, your only daily source for libertarian viewpoint cannabis news. Call to Freedom's cannabis news segment here. And we've got something from the Atlantic. Now, I know normally fear, uncertainty, and doubt is for our crypto hour. Well, it's also sometimes for our cannabis segment. Titled, America's Invisible Pot Addicts. More and more Americans are reporting near constant cannabis use as legalization forges ahead. The proliferation of retail boutiques in California didn't really bother him, Evan told me, but the billboards did. Advertisements for delivery, advertisements promoting the substance for relaxation, fun, health. Shop, it's legal. Hello, marijuana. Goodbye, hangover. It's not a trigger, he told me, but it is in your face. When we spoke, he'd been sober for a hard-fought 7 weeks. 7 weeks of sleepless nights, intermittent nausea, irritability, trouble focusing, and psychological turmoil.
When they say sober, do they mean from alcohol or from pot?
Pot.
Oh, okay, he's full of crap.
There were upsides, he said, in terms of reduced mental fog, a fatter wallet, and a growing sense of confidence that he could quit. I don't think it's as much as I can, as much as I must. Evan, who asked that his name not be used for fear of professional repercussions, has a self-described cannabis use disorder. Self-described. If not necessarily because of legalization, but alongside of legalization, such problems are becoming more common. The share of adults with one has doubled since early aughts.
Yeah, it doubled from 1 to 2.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, isn't there substantial amounts of research that prove that marijuana has no psychological or physiological dependency?
Yes.
So what?
Very, very quiet.
Pretty much. Sorry.
I knew something was off when he mentioned, that the billboards were not a trigger. That's when something told me there is something off with this guy, because anyone for whom it is even a possibility to be triggered by a billboard is totally out of touch with reality. And I mean that.
Tom, as a person who has struggled with alcoholism, have you ever been triggered by a billboard?
Not enough to write a freaking article about it.
Right?
I quit drinking.
When you're an addict, anything can be a trigger. But to get that butthurt about a trigger, it's got to be something more than a freaking billboard.
Yeah, I quit drinking in Louisiana. This guy can STF you.
Yeah, right. And public health experts worry about an increasingly potent options that are available and the striking number of constant users. Cannabis is a very real potential public health problem, says Mark A.R. Kleinman, a professor of public policy at New York University.
No, the real problem is people starting on 5 milligram Lortabs, going up to 7.5, then 10 milligram, then Percocets, then Oxycontin, then heroin. That's the real threat of increased potency. Smoke has a stronger strain of pot. I used to deliver pizzas, and I don't know if people are familiar with it, but what you do is you drive around all night, getting high and listening to music. Every time I got in my car, I smoked weed. And I did that for like 2.5 years. And then I quit smoking weed. And that was it. I just did. There was no withdrawal. And I've withdrawn from opiates. I've been in that boat as well.
It's not heroin. It's weed.
It's easy to say pot is addicted if you've never been through a real addiction.
I have insomnia when I don't smoke cannabis, but I smoke cannabis for insomnia. Like, it's one of the reasons why I smoke
but that's
cannabis.
not a withdrawal symptom. That's like saying if I quit taking my blood pressure medication, I have high blood. Like, that's not a withdrawal symptom of,
it just means I've got this problem. Yeah, exactly. But I do find that I don't eat. I'm not nauseous. I just am not hungry.
When you do or when you don't?
When I don't. If I say I fly
weed does give you munchies though.
Say I fly to Florida for 4 or 5 days, so I can't take my meds with me because I have to fly, and I don't have access to medicine while I'm in Florida. I just get to hurt and try not to complain too much. And while I'm down there, I eat almost nothing. And when I do eat, I get full really fast, and I stay full all day. I like food. I don't really have any interest in food. That's really the only quote-unquote withdrawal symptom. And that literally is a normal thing to happen to someone who has smoked on a daily basis for 10 years or more.
And even then, not being hungry, I mean, technically, that could be considered a withdrawal symptom, but it's not. It's just not being hungry.
Yeah, well, your body gets used to hunger being triggered by this other thing. And when that other thing's not there to trigger it, you just don't eat as much. I'll lose weight. And I literally eat like once a day, and I'm not that hungry. And to me, that's not, I've seen real withdrawals from actual addiction, and that.
This guy seems to be confusing withdrawals.
I ate a sandwich instead of 3.
Well, the issue here is that he's never been addicted to anything.
Yeah, so he's confusing withdrawals with what I want to.
He takes any sort of negative repercussion and goes, okay, well, this must be withdrawals.
I saw a billboard and it made me sad.
It's just like those people who go, well, I have PTSD because my parents argued at the dinner table, so now debates trigger my PTSD. People who have never experienced actual trauma also have no idea what actual trauma is like. So they think any amount of suffering qualifies. and is trauma. And he's got the same thing going on with addiction, where any sort of anything qualifies because he's never experienced the real thing. He has absolutely no perspective on what addiction even is.
There's tons and tons of stories of people complaining about losing weight after they stop smoking cannabis as long-term daily users.
Yeah, because weed gives you munchies, and you're eating too much while you're on weed. If you eat less, you will lose weight, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, right.
Well, people who smoke cigarettes, when they quit, they gain weight.
They eat more.
Yeah.
Because they're replacing...
they're eating more, yeah.
They're replacing one...
Yeah, but that's not a withdrawal.
They're also stopping a stimulant. So if you stop
Yeah.
a stimulant, there's a good chance you're going to gain weight.
Yeah, I understand the reasons for it. I'm just saying it's not a withdrawal symptom. It's just something that happens.
It's a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the withdrawal symptoms is wanting to punch the person next to you in the face because...
they exist.
because of the wonderful things that he does. That whatever. Are you breathing? Yeah, then I hate you.
And having for like 3 weeks straight just constantly running through your mind the word tobacco, tobacco, tobacco.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That doesn't happen with pot.
It does for me. But that's also because running through my head is ouch, 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 ouch. Because I'm in, pain. So I'm thinking of it not because I'm like, oh my God, like heroin, you're like, ah. No, it's more like, oh my God, my hand feels like it's in a vice. What will make it feel better? Oh, this thing.
Well, coming off of heroin, your whole body is going to hurt.
Yeah.
Even if you have no reason for it to be hurting. So, coming off of heroin that you were using for pain treatment.
I also think addiction and withdrawal symptoms are different based on people, because I had a 2-year daily, I was selling crystal meth in nightclubs back in the early 2000s and, in the gay clubs and selling lots of it all over Tampa and St. Pete. The guy that was bringing the best and the biggest shipments in was my roommate's best friend. But for me and one of my roommates, when the drugs were gone, they were just gone. But for the other roommate, Tim would scratch the carpets like a raccoon and flip the couch cushions and go through the ashtrays.
Right, but just because he was
flashlight around it.
Just because he was physically addicted to it doesn't mean the other two were.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that the two of us, we never had that reaction of like, the drugs are gone. Oh my God! What do we do? That it never happened. We both just looked at each other and we were like,
because your physiology is different.
Yeah, dope's gone, and we just didn't care. And I saw other people that they were complete insane. So I really think addiction affects people differently as far as the withdrawal symptoms are concerned. Like you said, physiology is different. Anyway, that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll be back with more news, more discussions, more philosophical and not so philosophical, and crypto news as well. But don't go anywhere, because Free Talk Live is coming up next.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, August 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.70 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,186 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,439. Antiwar.com reports Colonel Sean Ryan, a spokesman for the U.S.-led coalition in Iraq, says that U.S. troops are intending to remain in Iraq as long as we think we're needed. He says this is vital to the stabilization of efforts in the post-Islamic State Iraq. This is in keeping with other comments out of the Pentagon, where officials more or less uniformly envision a permanent U.S. military presence in Iraq and have not been shy in saying so. President Trump, however, disagrees and has said he's been keen to withdraw troops once the Islamic State is defeated. It's not unusual for